some dramatic scene at a wedding. It's about something quieter, more confusing, more human. Mia dated Alex for 6 years. They were each other's first love, first heartbreak, first everything. He didn't cheat on her, not in the traditional sense. He just fell in love with someone else while still lying next to her every night. When he left, he didn't slam the door. He just stopped holding her hand one day and never reached for it again. Years passed. Mia moved on, or so she thought, until one afternoon, a message appeared on her screen. "Would you consider being a bridesmaid? In my wedding?" And just like that, the past walked in again. Not to say sorry, not to come back, but to ask her to smile while someone else marries the man she once thought she'd grow old with. And she said, yes. This isn't a story about love lost. It's about what happens when love comes back. Not to stay, but to ask for your blessing. This is the bridesmaid request. It started with a message, just one line sent at 11:07 p.m. Would you consider being a bridesmaid? It would mean a lot to both of us. At first, I thought it was a joke, some sick social experiment, maybe even a mistake. But no, he meant it. And worse, she did too. Her name was Alara, the girl he fell in love with while I was still busy trying to hold us together. She wrote me separately, said she admired how I handled the breakup, said she wanted no ghosts at the wedding, that having me there would be a symbol of peace, growth, closure. Closure. Funny word. People use it when they're done hurting you, but still want something more. So I said yes. Not for them, but maybe for me. The fittings were awkward. The rehearsals were civil. The makeup artist called me brave, like I was doing a TED Talk in emotional suppression. And on the wedding day, I smiled. I posed. I fixed her veil. No one knew I still had the letter. A folded piece of paper, written in Alex's handwriting, dated 1 week after we broke up. He never sent it. But I found it, tucked between old books when I moved out. I never opened it. Not until the night before their wedding. I sat on the hotel bed, nails painted, dress steamed, and read the last thing he ever wrote to me, but never had the courage to say, Mia, you were never not enough. I just wanted something easier. Something that didn't make me confront who I was. You loved me loudly, and I ran from the noise. If I ever become the man you saw in me, it'll be because of you, even if you're no longer there to see it. I read it twice, then 3 times, and when I put it down, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared at my reflection and whispered, I deserve to hear that? Before the invitations were sent? Read it. What do you do when the man you once built a future with asks you to walk him down the aisle? Into a future that was never meant to include you. We always talk about closure, like it's something beautiful, like it's this ribbon we tie at the end of something broken. But what if closure isn't healing? What if it's just the moment you finally realize how much it actually hurt? Alex didn't ask Mia back because he missed her. He asked her back to make peace with the version of himself that broke her. And Alara didn't want Mia there because she needed support. She wanted the symbol of grace, of growth, of look how mature we all are now. But no one stopped to ask Mia if she had finished grieving yet, if she had healed, if she wanted to forgive, or if she was still silently holding the words he never said out loud. Let's be honest. There's a kind of pain that doesn't come from betrayal, but from being treated like a milestone in someone else's redemption arc. Alex called it closure, but what he really wanted was relief from guilt. And Mia? She got honesty, but she got it late. And when the truth arrives too late, it doesn't heal. It just confirms everything you were forced to guess before. So now I ask you, have you ever been invited back into someone's life? Not because they missed you, but because they needed you to make themselves feel better? Have you ever received an apology that helped the other person sleep, but kept you wide awake all over again? And if someone gives you closure only after they've moved on, was it really for you? Or was it just a way to make their wedding photos look cleaner? Because sometimes the most painful part isn't that they left you. It's that they needed you to bless what they built on top of your ruins. When Mia shared her story, Reddit didn't explode. It exhaled. Because too many of us have been asked to play a part in someone else's peace, long after they stole ours. Comment number 1. U/Ghostinvos plus 36.1K upvotes. My ex invited me to his wedding. Not as a bridesmaid, just as a friend. He said it would mean a lot. I didn't go, because I wasn't a guest. I was a grave he forgot he buried. Some invitations aren't gestures of peace. They're just evidence that they've moved on more than you have. Comment number 2. U/ceremonial closure plus 32.4 thousand upvotes. She said being there would be a symbol of growth. But I was still healing. I wasn't ready to be a symbol. I was still a scar. They call it full circle. But not everyone makes it there at the same time. Comment number 3. U/NotYourNarrative plus 29.9 thousand upvotes. He said I handled the breakup so gracefully. No, I bled quietly. I just didn't bleed where you could see it. Just because someone didn't scream doesn't mean they weren't in pain. Comment number 4. U/used for closure plus 27.1 thousand upvotes. He asked me to attend his wedding for closure. Funny. He never gave me that when I actually needed it. Closure given late isn't healing. It's history rewritten. Comment number 5. U/the letter unsent plus 25.8 thousand upvotes. I also found a letter my ex wrote, but never sent. It was everything I wished he'd said when I still needed it. Reading it years later didn't heal me. It confirmed I deserved more back then. Late honesty isn't closure. It's proof that they could have saved you and chose not to. So now I ask you, have you ever been asked to bless a love built on the ruins of your own? Have you ever been brought back not to be loved, but to make someone else feel better about how they left you? And if someone gives you the truth only after they've built a new life, is that closure? Or just an invitation to relive the pain you had already buried? I found an engagement ring in our drawer. But it wasn't for me. This isn't a story about a breakup. It's not about infidelity. At least not the kind that leaves lipstick on collars or perfume on sheets. It's about something quieter, something colder. The kind of betrayal that hides itself inside drawers you were never meant to open. Aaron and Nathan had been together for 3 years. They lived together, shared a dog, split the rent, cooked each other's favorite meals. He wasn't perfect, but he was home. And when people asked about marriage, he always said, "We're happy as we are. Why fix something that isn't broken?" So she waited, patient, understanding, until one morning, while looking for a charger, Aaron opened the wrong drawer and found a diamond ring. Her hands shook. Her heart stopped. Maybe he changed his mind? Maybe he was planning a proposal. But she was wrong. This isn't a story about a man who didn't love her. It's about a man who was preparing forever with someone else, while still calling her baby every night. This is The Ring Wasn't For Me. It started with a dead phone. I needed a charger. and Nathan always kept a spare in the side drawer of his nightstand. Only this time, it wasn't there, so I opened the bottom drawer, and that's when I saw it. A small black box, tucked neatly beneath an old hoodie. I didn't mean to open it, but my fingers moved before my mind could stop them. Inside was a diamond ring, simple, elegant, exactly my style. I stared at it, breath held. My mind raced. Was this it? Was he going to propose? Was he planning something for me? I closed the box, put it back where I found it. Didn't say a word. That night, I waited. I watched him. I studied every gesture, every glance, every moment that could have been a lead-up to something more. But nothing came. No nervous energy, no candlelit dinner, no late night. There's something I want to ask you. Just the usual. Kiss on the forehead, Netflix, sleep. A week passed, still nothing. And then, one evening, he left his laptop open. He never does that. I don't know why I looked. Maybe I already knew. An email thread, subject line, "Ready for this weekend?" From Celia. And then I saw it. She has no clue. The ring's ready. Can't wait to see her face when I ask. I read it twice, 3 times. My stomach twisted. My hands went cold. He wasn't proposing to me. He was proposing to her, while still calling me love, while still asking what I wanted for dinner, while still sharing my bed, while still using my toothbrush by mistake. I closed the laptop, sat on the floor, stared at the wall, and all I could think was, how long has he been planning forever? With someone else? Under the same roof as me? Reddit. What do you do when the ring you find in your own home isn't a promise? It's a secret you were never meant to uncover. We tend to define betrayal as something loud, something explosive, a lie, a body, a kiss that didn't belong to you. But what if betrayal isn't about what they do, but what they build without you? Nathan didn't cheat, technically. He didn't come home late. He didn't hide lipstick stains. He didn't delete messages. He just made future plans with someone else, while still holding on to the comfort of Erin. He wasn't dishonest about where he was. He was dishonest about where he was going. Let's be honest. The most brutal kind of betrayal isn't always about sex. It's about substitution. The slow realization that someone stayed with you not because they couldn't live without you, but because you were convenient until they were ready to go all in on someone else. And here's the scariest part. Nathan didn't lie with his mouth. He lied with his future. He let Erin believe they were heading somewhere, while already packing his promises for someone named Celia. It's easy to call it emotional cheating, but it's something deeper, more surgical, more intentional. It's erasure, the quiet kind. The kind where you're still in the photo, but the frame has already been replaced. So now I ask you, have you ever stayed with someone who stopped planning with you, but didn't tell you? Have you ever been the placeholder while someone else was being positioned as the one? And when they finally chose, did they thank you for your patience? Or did they just disappear with the ring you thought was meant for you? Because sometimes they don't betray your body. They betray your time, your years, your belief that this was going somewhere, when they had already rerouted the map. When Erin's story reached Reddit, it didn't spark outrage. It stirred something quieter. Recognition. That quiet ache of being almost chosen, but never really meant to stay. Comment number 1. U/used to better future plus 35.6 thousand upvotes. He kept telling me one day we'd move in. One day we'd travel. One day he'd be ready. Turns out that one day came and it wasn't with me. Some promises are just polite ways of buying time until they're brave enough to give the ring to someone else. Comment number 2. You/Neveronthalist plus 32.3 thousand upvotes. I found a ring too. Same setup, same drawer. But mine had a receipt with someone else's initials on it. I didn't confront him. I just left the receipt on his pillow. Some truths don't need to be spoken. They just need to be seen and walked away from. Comment number 3. You/between now and her plus 28.9 thousand upvotes. She told me I was the chapter before the real thing. I didn't know I was a prologue. I thought I was the book. Being someone's transition isn't romantic. It's ruin disguised as patience. Comment number 4. You/planned without me plus 26.4 thousand upvotes. I wasn't even mad he proposed to someone else. I was mad he let me believe it might have been me, that he let me decorate a life he was going to live with someone else. That's the quietest form of betrayal, letting you dream in a house they built for another. Comment number 5. You/the placeholder plus 24.8k upvotes. He once said I was his piece. But the truth is, I was just a resting stop before he had the energy to love someone fully. Some people don't choose you. They just rest in you until they're ready to leave. So now I ask you, have you ever found a plan that didn't include you, but still had your fingerprints all over it? Have you ever poured into a future only to find yourself edited out at the final draft? And when they gave someone else the ring, did it feel like heartbreak? Or like waking up from a dream you weren't even written into? He was the perfect boyfriend. Until I overheard the truth. This isn't a story about heartbreak. It's not about lies or cheating or dramatic fights at midnight. It's about something quieter, more calculated, and somehow far more chilling. His name was Aaron, and to everyone else, he was perfect. He held doors. He listened carefully. He remembered every birthday, every allergy, every little thing you thought no one noticed. He wasn't just kind. He was deliberate. Every gesture felt like love. Every word felt intentional. To my friends, he was a dream. To my mom, a future son-in-law. To me, he was the safest I'd ever felt. Until the day I heard him say, "You just study them, bro. Love is a system. Crack the code. And they'll think it's destiny." He didn't love me. He decoded me. This isn't a story about being loved wrong. It's about being loved by someone who only ever rehearsed the part. This is The Man Who Practiced Love. It started on a Tuesday. I was home sick. Nothing serious, just fever, sore throat, exhaustion. Aaron insisted on going to work anyway. "I'll bring soup later," he said. "Rest, okay? Don't worry about anything." And I didn't, until I woke up to voices in the living room. I stayed still, eyes barely open. The bedroom door was cracked. I could hear everything. He was on speakerphone, laughing with someone named Leo. And then I heard it. Of course she's in love with me. I figured her out 6 months ago. It's all about emotional response. She needs reassurance. I give her consistency. She values presence. I keep showing up. Once you learn their love language, bro, it's just cause and effect. I felt my throat tighten. Not from the fever, from something colder. He wasn't talking about our connection. He was talking about me, like I was a pattern, like I was a strategy he executed well. I even started journaling her triggers, he added, kept notes on what made her feel seen. It's not love, man. It's data. I froze. Every kind word, every bouquet, every forehead kiss, suddenly felt like a carefully calculated move instead of something born from the heart. He came into the bedroom later with orange juice and a smile. "Feeling any better, love?" I smiled back, nodded, sipped the juice, and realized I wasn't sipping comfort anymore. I was sipping control. Read it. What do you do when you realize the love that made you feel so safe was actually just a perfectly executed script? He didn't cheat. He didn't lie. He didn't raise his voice. He brought flowers. He remembered my favorite song. He showed up every time I needed him. But somehow, it still didn't feel real anymore. Because the truth is, love can't be practiced like a presentation. It can't be strategized like a product launch. And once you realize someone's kindness was never rooted in genuine feeling, but in control, even the most thoughtful gesture starts to feel like a trick mirror. Let's be honest. There's a difference between loving someone and being good at appearing to love someone. One comes from the heart. The other comes from the handbook. Aaron didn't fall in love. He took notes. He built Chloe like an algorithm. Touch when anxious, reassure when distant, compliment on the hard days. He didn't love her emotional depth. He just knew how to navigate it. And the worst part? He was rewarded for it. Because she thought it was real. So now I ask you, have you ever been loved by someone who never once showed you their true self? Only the version they knew you wanted? Have you ever felt safe, only to realize you weren't being held? You were being handled? And when you finally saw the script behind the romance, did it feel like betrayal or performance art gone wrong? Because sometimes what we think is love is just emotional mimicry. Not because they care, but because they're good at pretending to. He didn't break her heart. He managed it. And in the end, that kind of love doesn't leave bruises. It leaves you questioning whether any of it was real at all. When Chloe's story reached Reddit, people didn't scream. They paused. Because it wasn't about manipulation in the obvious sense, it was about emotional impersonation. Being with someone who knows all the moves, but none of the meaning. Comment number 1. You/loved by calculation plus 38.2K upvotes. He didn't love me. He just read enough books and psychology threads to know how to keep me. He never opened up. He just asked all the right questions, so I wouldn't notice how empty he really was. It's easy to fall in love with a mirror when it reflects exactly what you want to see. Comment number 2. You/the perfect boyfriend plus 34.7 thousand upvotes. He journaled my triggers too. I thought it was sweet. Until I realized he was just preparing for arguments. Like a debate, not a relationship. There's a difference between someone who listens and someone who logs your pain like a system to be managed. Comment number 3. You scripted to the end, plus 30.4 thousand upvotes. He always said the right things, but he never cried, never faltered, never let me see the parts that were raw or real. Now I know why, because there weren't any. Love isn't perfect. It's human. If you never see their mess, you're probably just seeing their mask. Comment number 4. You/fell for his impression plus 28.1 thousand upvotes. I once told him, "I love how safe you make me feel." He smiled and said, "That's the goal." Not, "I feel the same." Not, "You make me feel safe too." Just, a mission accomplished. Love isn't a goal to hit. It's a feeling to share. And if someone treats it like a strategy, you'll always be the test result, not the reason. So now I ask you, have you ever loved someone who was flawless in the way they treated you, but felt hollow the moment you needed something real? Have you ever confused consistency with connection, only to realize they were mimicking love, not making it? My husband cheated with a coworker, so I took her job.